Hello guys, this is Wade, and in the second video I'm going to be showing you guys what happens in the code. This is test.l. L stands for Lex. The first thing you got to do is make a test any .l file, use any name and just .l file. And Lex code has like 4 major sections, these are the sections and I'll be explaining them one by one. Okay, so the first section happens to be about C. So anything related to C, like including header files, including other header files, and declaring variables, declaring functions, you can all just do that all here. Okay, so I'm including studio.h, and I'm also including this file. Now, this test.tab.h is something you will be using later on, and it's like a bridge between all this code and the other code. So I'll be explaining about this later on, so don't sweat about it. It's there. Okay, and we even have like this function declaration that's there because it's like a common practice to tell the compiler that we'll be using this function later on. So we have this function down here, and I'm just telling the compiler that this is gonna be there later on. Okay, so that's the first section. And you can like even have something like this. If you want to have int a, which you probably are going to use later on, you can just do it here. It's totally cool. Okay, so the second section. Now the second section happens to be regular expressions, and I'm guessing maybe all of you are like pretty acquainted with regular expressions, but if in case you're not, then it's like regular expressions are like strings explaining what a pattern could be for a particular input. So it's like it's trying to explain what an input could look like. So this one just says that it could be any number. So what it does is say is like this 0 to 9 means it can be anything between 0 to 9. So that's like 0, 1, 2, 3 all the way up to 9, and the plus indicates that it should be like either 1 or more. It cannot be just empty. It at least has to be like one number, and if there's anything followed by it, like 7, so it's going to be taken as one single input. It's not going to be 5, 7, it's going to be 57. So that's the thing here. So and the reason why we use regular expressions is because it just makes the code easier to look into. Well, let's say you might have something which is super big. Let's say it's like this big. I'm just random input. It's like this big, right? So you're not gonna be using something so big in the code. Like you can't use this thing down here, right? So it's just better to name them and use them like this. So that's what we're gonna do. And yeah, just a small notice. This thing is not how you comment. I'm just using it so that I can like highlight it to you guys. Okay, that's not how you comment. It's commenting is actually not allowed inside here. So yep, so the third section happens to be tokens. Like how do you classify all these tokens, right? So if you remember what we did before, it was like if I entered hello, it returned by saying hello back. So how does it take that hello? So it takes it this way. So this is a complete string saying hello. Now this, when the scanner encounters this, it's going to be sending a token called string. It's going to be returning this back to the other code, so the other code knows that this thing has occurred. And the same thing goes for these other two things as well. So numbers, anything which follows this pattern is going to be sent as num, and if there's a semicolon, a token as semicolon is going to be sent. Okay, and now the period. So this dot, what it means is if there's like an input which is not following any of the patterns above, any at all. So if that's the case, then all that random wildcards, they just go down here. So if you want to capture something which is not given elsewhere, you just capture it a dot. Okay, so as you can see, if you get a dot, we can just call a function. This function is being called, and we are also returning a token called other. So this function is going to be called, and this function is going to be showing you this error, which is other input. It's just going to print it out, and it's also going to be sending a token down to the other code. So this is basically what happens in the token specifications section. Okay, so and the fourth one is basically any C function you have, you can like write any function you want and you can have it there. Now personally it's like you can either write it here or you can write it in the other code, which I'll be showing you in the next video, but it's like more like a personal choice. But this section I would say is should be used for lexical errors, like lexical errors and lexical handling. Like for instance, let's say you have a big ass number, right? So let's say this number, I'm gonna be entering something like a million, just let's say 1 million, right? And now I need to check if that number is big enough. So what you can do is you can like write a function below if it and it checks if the number is big enough, and then it sends like a value back to this function. So it's you can do all that here. So it's not like this thing is necessary, but it's pretty good if you use it. On the other hand, the regular expression is not it's not compulsory, mandatory either, but having it just makes coding pretty damn easy. So I'm just gonna say that these two are not mandatory, but they're like pretty cool. So that's pretty much the Lex code, and in the next video I'm gonna be showing you guys what the Bison code is. So do watch that one as well.